There we go, perfect. All right, it is our appointed time. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for being here to start the session. This is kind of awesome. This session is on productivity tools for educators. And I sometimes get to start the session by saying this is not one of the things I'm most passionate about sharing with teachers. When I share Google Docs or personal learning networks or something along those lines. It turns out, though, I am sort of passionate about productivity tips. And really what I mean by saying that, though, is this is not going to change your pedagogy or change the culture of your classroom, but it's going to give you more time for those things. So ultimately, I'm going to start with a demo, and some of you may have seen my demo slam earlier today, but I think this will illustrate what I'm after here. Many of you might share this problem with me. Anybody spend too much time on email? Okay. So we'll start with this. If you're like me, you might be a little bit behind on your inbox, so you might start your email like this. I apologize for the delayed reply. It's a busy time. In any case, attached is this proposal for your review, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm writing to one of our event hosts. And you might wear many hats like I do. So there's my EdTechTeam signature. Right? Want to know how to do that? Okay. So what I'm using is a tool called a text expander that allows you to take a small amount of text and expand it into a large amount of text. I first started doing this on my Mac. I used a tool called, appropriately enough, Text Expander. I think it costs $35. It's money well spent. A couple months into using it, it told me I had saved 80 hours of typing at 60 words a minute. But now you can get a Chrome extension that does more or less the same thing for free and syncs across all your devices. So all those shortcuts I just used, I never even wrote them on this computer. I created them on some other laptop a long time ago. So let me show you how that works. To install it, you want to go to the Chrome Web Store. At the Chrome Web Store, you can just search for Text Expander, or in this particular case, Auto Text Expander. And when you get there, like any other Chrome extension, you can add it to Chrome. You can see I've already added this one. Once you've added Text Expander to Chrome, you'll have this little widget in your toolbar here. And when you click on it, you can identify any short amount of text to expand into a large amount of text. So when I need my shipping address, I type 54058, and bam, I get my entire shipping address, right? Anything you find yourself writing over and over again, you can turn it into a text expansion. So here I have one about our technical audit, but yours might be the common comments on student papers. It might be the email you frequently write to parents over and over again. It might be the excuse you send to the administration or whatever. Anything you find yourself writing over and over. I realized when I started getting good at this, like the 6th time I wrote, meanwhile, have a great Thanksgiving break. I was like, you know what? From now on, I type T-Day and it drops that into my email. So anything you find yourself writing repetitively, you create a shortcut for it and it expands into something longer. So that's a text expander. Good stuff? Right on. So, and I'll give you a link at the end with all these resources. I like to complement that one with another simple text tool that can help you out with email. Let's say I wanted to introduce some of our team members who are not here at the booth right now. So here's the team page on our website. If I open up Chris Bell's page, I can grab some of his bio, and I'm going to copy that. And maybe I also want to introduce David Jakes, so I'll copy that. And maybe I want to introduce Holly, who left us to go to South Africa. But at any rate, oh, wait. I copied over David and I copied over Chris, right? I was like, no, that's okay. I've got a clipboard buffer or a clipboard history. So now I can just go back to my email and open my clipboard buffer. Whoops, where'd it go? That's not awesome. All right, let me take you under the hood here. If we go into more tools, extensions, there's the auto text expander I already installed. And here's my clipboard history, which needs to be reloaded. Apparently it crashed. There we go. It's back. So now in my email, I can go to my clipboard history here. It's a little green clipboard with lines on it. And once that syncs up, I can see everything in the history that I've copied. So I can go back and grab examples from earlier even. So here's a Jason Markey's introduction and drop that in. And then I can go back and get Jen Sheffer's introduction and drop that in. Oh, come on. And so you've got a history of everything you've clipped with your clipboard. I've got it all maxed out, so it'll save like 100 items for over a week or whatever it is. But I find like even stuff that, where's that link I sent to the team last night? Oh, here it is over a day ago. There's the short link to the site I was sharing. If I need to share it with somebody else today, great. But think in terms of like making up student groups. You just go down your roster and go copy, 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 copy. Then you go down and paste, paste, paste in whatever order you want. So it saves you from going copy, paste, copy, paste, and it saves you from that, oh, I copied David's info over Chris's, and I got to go find Chris's again. So clipboard history or clipboard buffer. The extension you want for Chrome is clipboard history 2. It's got a little bit more functionality. If you're on a Mac or a Windows machine, I've got other options there, but if you're using Chrome, it will follow you from device to device if you're logged into your Chrome browser. All right, how many of you use Gmail? Oh, a fair number of you, but not all of you. Some of you are going to want to after this. But I'm going to show you a couple of other tips for automating things in Gmail. So, if you're using Gmail, and again you've got you've got some incoming messages. I'm going to use this one from the Gmail team. How about, I usually have my workshop send me email. So here, I'll get this one from Jenny and Lee's about the ISTE playground today. So what you might have noticed is this is in my everything else in my Gmail inbox. And I probably want this to be much more important. So what I can do is I can click on this email and I can create a filter. I can filter messages like these, and I can say anything from Jenny, do what with it? So this is a condition, anything from Jenny, then mark it as important. Always mark it as important if it comes from Jenny. So from now on, Jenny's stuff will never get lost in my everything else. Google will filter it out to the mark as important. But look at some of the other things you can do with a filter. You can skip the inbox, mark it as read. So perhaps there's updates that you get from a listserv and you want them to be there, but you don't necessarily want them cluttering up your inbox. We could skip the update, mark it as read. This is my favorite one, apply the label. You can see I make quite a bit of use of colorful labels in my inbox, but I don't spend any time at all organizing them. The first time I decide I want one, I set up the filter to apply the label. So what I would do is, let's just look at this message from Jenny. Let's say I wanted to have a label from Jenny. Right, or let's just go Jenny. So I've created this label. Over on the side here, if I want to, I can go look at all my labels. I can find my Jenny label, and maybe I'm going to make Jenny red. Now that's all fine and good, but that's a lot of work to go to put a Jenny label on my email. So what I want to do from now on is more filter messages like these. So where are they? Let's go back to my inbox. Back to my Jenny message. There we go. Filter messages like these from Jenny, or you can, of course, identify other conditions. But if it's from Jenny, now we're going to apply the label Jenny. Create filter. Now from now on, when I get email directly from Jenny, it's going to get that red label on it, and it'll visually stand out in an otherwise busy inbox. So here's some of the ways you can use those labels. You want to batch your work a little bit. So you might, the first time you get an email from a new parent, create the filter to add a parent label. And then when you're in the right state of mind, you can sit down and handle all of your parent email, right? You could, if you've got stuff from students that involves Unit 4 or whatever, you could just tell them, like, make sure you have Unit 4 in the subject line. It'll automatically apply the label for grading. And then when you're in the, you've got your grade book open and your glass of wine, you sit down and you start your grading, right? So you can use your filters to do all kinds of things if you filter messages like these. You can skip the inbox, mark as read, apply labels. By the way, you can even forward it to your assistant, right? Your student helper, I don't know. Anyway, you can use the filters, and you can use labels then to visually differentiate your email. Good stuff so far? Awesome. I want to check my time. What am I go to now? 2:40. Okay, cool. I got 15 minutes-ish. So I'm going to show you a couple other Gmail tips. I love using superstars in Gmail. How many of you use the star function? So, maybe you've got to follow up on this email from Jenny, so you give it a star. And later you can come back and look at your starred email. Mine's not too bad now. But there's the message from Jenny I've got to follow up on. By the way, see these two Google Docs emails that are unread, but they're already starred? I created a filter. Anytime someone fills out this form, it's automatically going to star that for follow-up, so I don't miss anything through that form. Happens to be our professional development request form, so that's important to me. But anyway, here's my message from Jenny. It's starred. But normally, I took care of everything before ISTE, but normally my inbox looks a lot more like this. And I might have an orange one, and I might have a green one, and I might have, I don't know, a blue one or something, right? So what I do is I also use my superstars to help batch my work, and I'll show you how that works. In your Gmail settings, this used to be a Gmail lab, but it's graduated. Right here, any star that you pull up to the top here, now is, it'll cycle through those stars when you hit the star button on your email. So in my case, I'm just using the colored stars. I don't like all the other icons, but you could use questions, exclamation points, information, etc. But then when you're in your inbox, if there's a message you need to follow up on, it's like, oh, this is a banking issue. I'm going to put a green star on that. And here's the philosophy behind that. Usually my stars are much more overwhelming. I can look and say, oh, you know what? It's time to just deal with my banking. I'm going to open my banking software, open Quicken or whatever. For a teacher, it might be, you know, your purple stars are your grading. So you open your grade book, you open your, you know, Google Drive, and now I just do this as green star, and all that other clutter is out of my head, and I'm just focused on my green stars, just my banking or just my grading or whatever it is, right? So if you're an adherent to the inbox zero philosophy, the idea is get everything out of your inbox as soon as possible, so that so my inbox has got a bunch of junk in it right now. I'm going to select all in this case, and I'm going to, whoops, did I select all? There we go. I'm actually going to add the review later. It's my catch-all label. Great, they all get that, and now I can select all, mark as read, archive. And those two that were starred, I guess I got a lot of unread mail, but the two that will starred will show up in my starred email, but my inbox is otherwise empty. So you clear out your inbox, and then you deal with these things when it's time. So for me, yellow just means I got to do something to get back to this person. Orange means this is a little bit more important. Like I got to give that priority before my yellow stars. Red means I'm doing that tonight while I'm on the late work crew. I'm not going to bed until I've taken care of that thing. So I can prioritize, like, man, I only have 10 minutes. I'm going to go through and knock out my red stars. Whereas I know, I could save the green ones and the blue ones, which are personal, and the purple ones, which require a printer. I can save those for later when I'm near my printer, right? So I use the superstars to help kind of batch my work that way. So filters can do all kinds of your email while it's coming in. They can apply labels for you. They can even apply a star for you. And then you can use superstars to batch your work a little bit. Good stuff so far? All right, I'm going to show you canned responses. So Gmail has a really powerful feature that kind of goes beyond the text expander. So my text expansions that I showed you earlier were just plain text. What happens if you want like a bulleted list, or you want links or colors or formatting of any kind? I have a nice one where I talk about, things that we need from the location school before we launch the website, but when I use my text expander, my bullets are gone, my links are gone, and all that business. So I've developed a much better one using canned responses, and I'll show you how to do it. But my canned response for new hosts, it's got bullets and links. It could have images and all sorts of other formatting in it. But the idea is this won't work everywhere, but when I'm in Gmail, I can use my canned responses for things that I send over and over and over again. So this might be frequently asked questions. This might be just emails that you commonly write to students or your colleagues or parents. And here's how it works. You have to make a little side trip into your settings again. So a little gear and then settings. And you're going to go into Google Labs. We're going to revisit Labs because there's some good stuff in here. But the particular lab we want is canned responses. Oops. So you enable canned responses. Once you do that, and by the way, you'll have to save. Once you enable canned responses, then whenever you're working in a new email or a reply, you have this little chiclet down here, and you have a new option for canned responses. So what you would do is write out your canned response. Right? Come down to the chiclet, canned responses, and the first thing you have to do is actually save a new canned response. Then from then on, when you're working in an email, you just go down to the chiclet, go canned responses, whoops, and what did I call it, demo for ISTE? Where'd it go? Is it at the bottom? Demo for ISTE. Oh, hang on. It's a little tricky UI. It looks the same when you're saving or inserting. I want to just insert. There we go. You can insert your canned response. So similar to the text expander, except it only works in Gmail, but it lets you do links, bullets, formatting, colors, etc., fonts, all that business, pictures, right into Gmail. You can save much more sophisticated email. Questions on that? Cool. I want to revisit labs. So a couple of my other favorite labs. Again, we're going to go to the gear. We're going to go down to settings and labs. So we're in Gmail labs. I just showed you canned responses. One of my other favorites, this is absolutely critical. Oh, it graduated. It graduated. Undo send graduated. What's that? Last week, yeah. I was like in the flow and just totally forgot about that. So if you compose an email, let's say I'm going to compose something to Jenny, and I'm going to say, we're talking about you at the booth. You won't believe what they're saying. Right? Saying. I don't know, from Barcelona, right? It's saying. And I'm going to say, I sure hope undo send works for this demo. Right? Just in case. So I'm going to hit send, and if all works, there we go. Your message has been sent. Undo? Or view message. Undo! Undo! So sending's been undone. I hope. That didn't look like that worked. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to send it to Wendy now. It'll be a little safer. So let's send this to Wendy, and then I'm going to hit undo. Sending's been undone. I get the message back. So I can't tell you how often that saves me, not for reasons like this where it's like, can't believe what they said about you, Jenny. Like, oh no. But usually something considerably less awkward. I realized after I hit send, I was like, well, I was supposed to add that attachment. Or I hit send and I was like, well, I said I was going to CC Chris, you know. Or I hit send and then I see the spelling error, because that's how our brains work, I guess. So I use undo send like all day, every day. My main wish, though, is that we had undo say in real life. Undo say! Anyway, what I've made for you guys is a resource page with all of these productivity tools and then more. So here's your text expanders for whatever platform you're on, and of course the web-based one. Oh, by the way, I used to pull my hair out because I didn't have a text expander on my phone. And then I learned that both Android and iOS, you go into the keyboard settings and you can set up your own shortcuts. So I'll link to an article about that. Same thing for clipboard buffers. I used to pull my hair out that I didn't have a clipboard history on my phone. But now I found an app called Clipper that works on Android, and there's a couple of them that work on iOS that will even sync with your Mac. So then you can clip something on your Mac, and then the next morning you could be on your phone and still grab that thing that you copied and paste it into a new email. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I gave you links to the help files for all of the features I just showed you in Gmail, and a couple others, including Boomerang, which will allow you to, when you send out an email, do you have this problem where it's like, hey, get this back to me by Friday, and they don't get it back to you? It's like, well, yeah, the ball was in their court, but when they don't hit it back, you're the one that, you know, is responsible. So you say, get this back to me Friday, and you use Boomerang to make it come back to your inbox on Thursday, so you can check up on it, right? It's a good tool. And then I also shared with you a few paperless things, including paperless faxes and paperless forms and signatures. Since I have a couple of minutes left, I'm going to show you that. I use a service called Unity Fax, because faxes, by the way, are like my least favorite telecommunication technology. So I got rid of my fax machine years ago. So I go to Unity Fax. I don't even like their basic one is like $4.99 a month. I don't even pay that. I pay the 99 cents per fax model, and I only ever now and then have a fax. But when I get a fax, I don't have a fax machine anymore, and I was never home if I needed it anyway. When I get a fax now, it comes to my inbox. So it'll look like this, and it'll have an attachment that, lo and behold, looks like it's ugly like a fax, but then it's got the actual signature and everything on it, right? Well, that's great, unless I got to print it out and sign it and scan it in and send it back, right? So this is great. This gets into my inbox. It's a PDF. The next piece I need is called HelloSign for Gmail. They got a separate service called HelloSign. But HelloSign for Gmail is free, and it gives you this little button right here that says Sign, and I'll have to log in real quick. But basically, you hit the Sign button on HelloSign, and it pulls up your PDF in this separate window. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can actually drag your signature in. And I had it memorize my signature and my wife's, right? And I can drag in the date, and I hit attach, and what it does is it creates a reply email with the signed document attached. So you guys might not be in like the HR department at the district or whatever, and they might not let you do this anyway, but if you're doing like, say, student behavior contracts or permission slips and stuff that parents have to sign, and for years you had to sort of be like, take this home to mom, don't forge it, right? Now it's like this goes right in mom's inbox. Mom signs it electronically, it comes right back to your inbox as an attachment, and it's a closed loop, and it's all got an electronic audit trail. These are legally binding signatures, like people buy homes this way. I rented our office this way. So anyway, you could go paperless faxes, paperless forms and signatures using something like UnityFax or HelloSign. So anyway, those are my productivity tips for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to give you one last one to share this site. You'll notice it's kind of a long, ugly URL, and I know you've all seen Bitly. But what do you do when you've got a URL that you want to share with everybody, right? Like, where's my Bitly? Oh, I closed it. So I have this long, ugly URL. Oh, wait, it's in my history, I hope. Except remember, my history was crashed at the beginning of the session, right? Okay, it was crashed. So we're going to try again. Cross your fingers. Not session manager. Shortener. That wasn't working earlier today either. All right, so I got a long, ugly URL. I'm going to teach you 2 tricks. Go to bit.ly. bit.ly. Google also has one, but Bitly's nice. You can customize it. You drop in your long, ugly URL. There we go. That's not going to work. Sorry, don't do it. I'm going to drop in a long, ugly URL. It shortens it. I paste that. Now it's a little small for you to see, and sometimes there's, if you've got a screen where you can zoom in, you're very lucky. But I'm going to teach you a fun little extension we just released called Crafty Text. You click on Crafty Text. You drop in your URL or whatever text you want to project to your kids, and you just hit enter. No need to open up a PowerPoint slide or figure out how to zoom in on your screen. You just click Crafty Text, drop in your text, and hit enter. So anyway, if you write that down, that's the link to all the resources for this session. So we have another speaker up after me. I think it's Pete Henry talking to you about some of the technical behind-the-scenes stuff on Google Apps. But for what it's worth, we're the EdTech team. Any of the demo slams or sessions you guys have seen here, we can bring these out to you. We run a series of summits all over the world. Just check the backs of our T-shirts, or go to gamesummit.com. It's a Google Apps for Education Summit. They're conference-style events. We're in 100 locations in 23 countries this year, 26 states. So hopefully we're near you. If we're not, let us know, because we can bring custom professional development out to you, or perhaps you might be interested in hosting a summit in your area. So anyway, thanks for stopping by the booth. We're going to have a raffle, Wagner?
Yes, sir.
We're going to have a raffle, and then there's more sessions.